Hey everybody, this is Simon over at Constant Collectible, and thanks for joining us for an episode of What's in the Box, where we discuss, review, and admire the toys that fill our toy box. Today we're going to do something a little different. Today we are going to take a look at my top 5 G.I. Joe vehicles I would like to see in the Classified series moving forward, and that doesn't need to be an HasLab. Let's check it out.
The box. What was in the box?
So, what are my parameters? I'm going to stick to the 80s when it comes to my top 5. I am a kid of the 80s, and I enjoyed and loved playing with my G.I. Joes. From ones that I had, friends had, that I wish I had. But I would like to take that nostalgia, and I would like to see it come to the G.I. Joe Classified series. We already have the Hiss Tank. We have the Dragonfly coming. We have the Vamp that is out there. We have the Trouble Bubbles. Now, these are vehicles that I would like to see come to the Classified line that do not need to go through the HasLab process. So we're talking smaller vehicles that will fit and in a relatively nice budget, especially for today's climate. So let's check out what we got. All right, let's kick it off with number 5. Number 5 on my list is the 1982 Jump. The Jump, otherwise known as the Jet Mobile Propulsion Unit, was first released in the U.S. in toy stores back in 1982 without a pilot. That's the first one that came out, so there was no pilot with this. In 1983, it was sold with a pilot, which was the version number 2 of Grand Slam. In 1985, Hasbro Pulse made it available as a mail-away offer. I never had the Jump. However, here's my thoughts. You have Starduster coming, who later on came with the Jump pack. But if you go back and you look at the cartoon and you look at the comics, the Jump is clearly defined as used with Stalker, used with Duke, used with several. I mean, just the movie alone has the introduction and Duke using a jetpack. In the cartoons, it was used by Stalker, I think in issue 5? If I remember correctly. Let me know if I'm wrong, which I probably am. But the Jump, I think, would be a fantastic addition to the Classified series because you have many figures that you could use with this. It would be a very nice price point. The Jump itself would come with the platform, with the backpack. Even though Hasbro right now is not enjoying backpacks, I still feel like if we just tool that peg, insert, whatever it may be, I think this would be a great addition at a great low price. All right. Number 4 on my list is the 1983 Falcon, the G.I. Joe Attack Glider. The G.I. Joe Falcon Glider was released in the U.S. in 1983. The box included a driver, which was Grunt. Grunt was in a tan fatigues, and the Falcon eventually was discontinued in 1985. Now, I had this as a kid. I thought it was awesome. I loved the way it looked. I love that you could clip your character to it, throw it, and fly. Now, again, I'm not sure if you want to do that with your Classified series. That's okay. But just having that as a display piece, as a prop to go, I mean, think about the photography that could be happening as well. It was one of my favorites, even though it was made out of styrofoam and it wasn't as sturdy as you would have liked it. The cool thing is that Hasbro also allowed you to buy and purchase the extra parts that if you broke it or anything like that, which I thought was cool. But they don't have to do that now. We can use different materials. We can make it out of plastic. We don't have to use it to throw it. We just want something that is iconic. If you go back again, G.I. Joe the cartoon was featured in there. So the Falcon, my number 4 pick. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 that I'd like to see is the 1983 Polar Battle Bear. It's the ski mobile. So, the 1983 Polar Battle Bear Ski Mobile. Man, that's a mouthful. This was released, again, in 1983. This toy was also sold in 1984 and was discontinued in 1985. in stores. However, you still could obtain it through Hasbro Direct via mail-away offers from 85 to 91. This would be a great addition at a pretty decent, inexpensive, I think, cost, because it is just a small little one-man vehicle. If you're looking at Trouble Bubble that you're paying, what, 44 right now with a figure, you can drop the cost down, or do we get an army builder with it? Do we get a different, snow character that would come with it? I don't know. What would you want to see? I'm okay with it coming on its own, so I can use with Snow Job or any of the other Joes that are coming out in that area. What I want to see when it comes to vehicles is I want them to add to the mythology. I want them to add to, especially for photographers, I really want to add more to these guys that take amazing photography, but bringing in these toys from my nostalgia and things that I think people are just clamming for and want. It doesn't have to be this big, expensive, massive thing. It can be these small little things. And I would love to see the Polar Battle Bear. All right, now let's jump to number 2. My number 2 pick is the 1984 Shark, the flying submarine. Okay, the Shark, the submersible high-speed attack and reconnaissance craft. This was released back in 1984. The box included Diver Deep 6. Let's add to the story, right? We have eels from Cobra. We have Torpedo. What else are we going to get? Let's get Deep 6 and the Shark. Okay, this was sold in stores from 1984 and it was discontinued in 1986. However, it was later available once again via mail order from 87 to 93. I had a Shark. I loved the Shark. I loved the figure. Yes, he had limited mobility, but think about what you could do with this. Gosh, it may even bump the price up to 60 if you could get Deep 6 within the suit that he wears that then also goes inside the Shark. I don't know. It's up to Hasbro, but I would love to see this. Remember, land, sea, and air. Okay? Now, again, these don't have to come through HasLab. I would love to see these. I mean, let's expand the story. Let's continue to grow with these characters. So, the 1984 Shark is what I would like to see for my... All right, so here we are. Number 1. What's it going to be? There's still so many things to choose from. There are things out there that are already in the works that, of course, you realize that they're not on my list, because if they're coming, I don't need to wish for them, right? So my number 1 pick is the 1984 Skyhawk, the one-man VTOL. The Skyhawk VTOL, the vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, was first released in the US in 1984. It was discontinued in 86. However, the Skyhawk was available in 1987 as a mail order premium. Okay, so you could still obtain it, you just had to mail away for it. Probably needed, I can't remember, but I believe you probably needed to use your flag points in order to get it, plus pay shipping and handling. But man, what a great vehicle, okay? We see it in the cartoons, we see it in the comics. Why not see it with the toys? We saw it with the toys in the 80s. Let's see it with the toys of the 21st century, okay? I would love to see this one brought in. It does not need a figure. I don't think you can play and use it for any character that you have. This thing is awesome. That's my number 1. Those are my top 5 picks. However, I have an honorable mention. Okay, my honorable mention. I had to. There's so many great vehicles out there that I would love to see. Eventually, I'd like to talk about play sets and that kind of stuff, but let's stick to vehicles. This one was a special one, okay? So my honorable mention is the Manta. Okay, the Manta was released in 1984. It stood for Marine Assault Nautical Transport. It was air driven. It was only mail away. You could only get this through the mail. So the Manta was available via mail order from 84 to 87. It was also available in 1992 as a G.I. Joe convention exclusive. The Manta, what was cool about it is you can put a figure on it, but you could disassemble it and fit it into a backpack so that way they could carry it for transport. Now, again, I've said this before. Backpacks and Hasbro, they're not really talking to each other right now. We need to fix that. Fix the peg, fix whatever. I know many of us that are in the world of collecting these toys want the backpacks. We would love the classic figures to come with their classic pieces with a little upscale design. So the Manta is my bonus pick. So that's my top 5 G.I. Joe classified vehicles I would love to see come out in this line. Are there any that I missed? What do you want to see? What would you like to see? What price points are you thinking? Let me know in the comments below. And that brings us to a close of our What's in the Box. More news and reviews can be found here on our YouTube channel and across social media, where you can find news and reviews from a world of geek culture just by using the links in the show notes below. Our email is constantcollectible@gmail.com, and we'll be back next time where we talk about my top 5 Cobra vehicles I would like to see in the classified line. In the meantime, don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe to all things Constant Collectible, keeping you up to date with all the news and reviews in a world of geek culture. I'm Simon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.